Good morning, everybody. It is going to be a great day to be up in the woods. The sun is shining, the sky is blue, and it's going to be a scorcher. Hopefully we'll get to do some fishing and maybe some mushroom hunting. But we've got some chores to do this morning, so we're going to get on that right away. Last night I got up to the land and it was major severe thunderstorms in the area. However, magically they all parted and went around the camp, and so I did not get any large hail, any damaging winds, or anything destructive at all. So I'm very thankful for that. And I just got back from town, so that killed about 2 hours, but I needed to get some 4x4 treated posts because the first project of the day is to get that shed put up on blocks. I know a few of you mentioned it, and I wasn't going to do it because it is already on treated stringers, but just for that added protection, I am going to get it up off the ground even more. As you can see, things are a little bit overgrown around here. It's been a while since I've been up. One of the projects to do is to mow some of these little volunteer trees down and kind of clean things up. But it's pretty wet after that storm last night, so I'm going to let everything kind of dry off in the sun a little bit. And plus we've got some other projects to do first. So lots to do this morning, but hopefully this afternoon we can get some water time and either get out in the kayak and do some fishing, or just exploring in the kayak or swimming or whatnot. So as you can see, the old chainsaw logging mishap is healing nicely. I think today I'm going to try to pull out the rest of the stitches. I've already pulled out 3 or 4 of them unintentionally. A couple of them I was trying to shave and I snagged them with the razor and cut them and pulled them out. Well, first things first, decided I'm going to make a chore board just to kind of keep track of projects that need to be done up here and to keep me focused during the day. Sometimes it's easy for me to get sidetracked because I can tend to squirrel, like start one project and then all of a sudden, oh, see something else and start working on that. So let's see if this can help keep me focused. See how close I am. I know it's going to take probably 3 times. Alright, perfect. Well, obviously I either got the girl version of a whiteboard or the Easter version, because what's with the pastel colors? Seriously, how about black, heavy red, and dark blue? So the other thing when I was in town that I forgot to buy was hurricane straps for the rafters in here. So apparently I need to make a shopping list as well. But luckily I have a second whiteboard. I don't know, I might have went overkill on these 4x4s, but I figured I would run. So the stringers underneath the shed, there's 3 of them that run the long way. So I thought I would put 4x4s going the opposite way, and it's 22 foot long. So I bought 7 of them, and I thought about every 3 feet, give or take, I would put one. There's a lot of cracking and popping going on. I don't know if that's a good sign or not. Well, the humidity today is just ridiculous. It's probably supposed to be mid to high 80s today, but the humidity after all that rain last night is just crazy. I'm just working at a normal speed, and I am just drenched with sweat after about 10 minutes. So this isn't going great. I might need some more powerful jacks to get this up, so we might have to come back to this, but I'm going to give it one more shot. Yeah, so let's see what happens. Okay, so that's going a little bit better. I was trying to do it just on the ground before, and of course these jacks are known as the killers, the Widowmakers, because there's so much pressure on them and they spring out and it gets to be bad news. And I'm not sure how much I'm catching that board under there. I should be all right. If I could get it one more notch. Now I'm nervous about getting smoked in the face after the chainsaw deal. Oh, there's a click. Almost. All right, well, we're making progress anyway. But I want to come up a little bit higher so we can comfortably get these boards underneath. Boy, I feel like I'm maxed out with the jacks. All right, so that's one. Now for sure the right tool to use probably would have been a bottle jack, but I don't have a bottle jack. So you use what you have sometimes, and maybe it's not always the best, but sometimes you don't have a choice. I wasn't gonna put additional blocking under here, but a few of you were suggested that I do. The reason I wasn't going to is because when I talked to Jonas, who built the shack for me, he said that he had put treated stringers underneath and that would be good enough. But you know, I started thinking about it, and you know, this isn't just going to be a shed for storing tools. It's going to be a cabin to live in, and I want it to last. And I don't want to have to worry about jacking it up in a couple years. I'd rather do it now before it's full of stuff, before there's floor in there, before there's sheetrock or tongue and groove. And it's right now it's the lightest it's ever going to be. And that way, if I tweak something or bend something, I'm not buckling the floor and all that kind of stuff. So I figure it's not going to hurt anything, for sure, and it can only help, so why not, right? Well, I think she's high enough to get those boards under. I don't know about the middle, but she'll go. Aha! I think we're set. All right, so we need to measure this off, space some, and we are going to be good to go. Well, that is done. Finally, it took way longer than I thought it would, but I got it done. The hardest part was, okay, you're going to laugh at me, I know you are, but the hardest part was getting the timbers equidistant apart. And I know it seems super easy. 266 inches divided by 7 should give you your distance. But every time I put them in there, I'd end up all weird in the middle where I had like extra space on one of them. So anyway, that took a while. The other thing that came into being a factor was now running the support stringers the opposite way. It made me low in the back. So I had to put some additional blocking underneath the back. But the good news is it is like really, really level inside. It's not perfect, but it's really close. And oh my gosh, there's a big ass spider up there. All right, so anyway, I feel like the floor is level enough where I can put in the flooring. The other thing I got at the store today was I got a couple of 12-volt bulbs and an outlet, because last night when I was in here, it was so dark. But I don't know, I think I'm gonna mow now and then maybe grab some lunch. And then it's on to the chore list. And hopefully later we're gonna get out fishing, but it is really hot. So we might save that for after supper. So we will see you in a bit. It's a little bit warm today. You know, this mower has probably got to be about 25 years old and it's still running. The bad thing about it is it smokes really bad. The good thing about it is that smoke keeps the mosquitoes away while I'm mowing. So there's always a bright side, I guess, right? kind of bothers me that this door won't stay open. So I'm just gonna do a quick fix on this and put a little nail in the siding here to keep it open. Perfect. Now we'll let some breeze in. I bought this picnic table for $20 and it's kind of served me okay. I think I've got my $20 worth out of it, but I needed to replace the boards and it's been one of those things that I've been putting off and well, finally gonna do it. Uh-oh. That's not a good sign. And here comes the rain. To be honest though, the rain is going to feel so good. It is so humid that maybe it will help the humidity. I suppose I should check to see if there's anything that I need to bring in though that I don't want to get soaked. Well, I ran out of carriage bolts for the picnic table, so I'm moving on to project number 36. I had just a piece of screen that I had left over from the house, kind of hanging and stapled from the doorway, and there was a lot of gaps in it. So I actually was at Aldi's and they had this mosquito screen door net for like $5. So I picked it up and we're going to install that now. I'm not sure if it's going to be worth a darn or not, but for $5 it was worth taking a chance. Alright, well that looks pretty good. I think I'm going to like that. $5? What the heck, right? It doesn't exactly return to center though very well. Maybe it needs to hang more. Maybe I need to loosen these up. That's a little bit better. I just hung it a little higher so the center of gravity was a little different, and I raised it up off the floor so that it had room to naturally just let gravity take it back. Before I had it like sweeping the floor, and that obviously was not working. So it seems to be working pretty well. Yeah, I like that. For $5, seriously? That's a win, right? Well, even River will be able to go in and out of that. So I'm pretty happy with that, actually. Huh, Aldi's, for crying out loud. $5 special. Sometimes you gotta take what you can get. Works pretty good as long as you don't get hit by lightning. Good morning, everybody. It looks like it's going to be a beautiful day to be out in the woods. So this morning I'm going to go hit the trails and do a little bit of running. As you can see, it is blue sky and it is beautiful out. Temperature's a lot lower than it has been the last couple days. so it feels pretty good. And with that breeze, hopefully it'll keep the mosquitoes and the deer flies away. All right, we'll see you on the trail. And after that, one of the big projects for the day is I think I'm going to start that flooring in the shed. I'm not 100% positive though. I still want to think about some things. If not, I still have plenty of other chores to do. And one of the biggest things I want to do before I go home is I need to go through the log pile and find some logs to bring home so I can try to fit together this bed in my mind that I've been thinking about. So, well, I guess it's time to start this project. I've never done flooring like this before, but I've watched a YouTube video. So yeah, so this part of the video is for entertainment only. It's not an instructional video because I've never done this before. I have no idea what I'm doing. Well, let's get into it. So fishing is out. So I started working on the floor, and I wasn't going to start it this project, or this, I wasn't going to start the project this trip up, but because I couldn't fish, I decided to start working on it. So it kind of got waylaid on the picnic table, so this was one of the next projects. So as you can see, I'm about a quarter of the way, maybe a third of the way done. And this color floor is called Cherry, and it's just a Home Depot brand. I got pretty lucky because it was normally like $50 some a box, and it was on clearance, and they'd marked it down to like $45 a box, and then, yeah, I think it was $56 a box. Then they marked it down to like $45 a box. So I bought my boxes I needed. I think it was $1.58 a square, which was about as cheap as I could find it. And plus this is okay quality. It's kind of a mid-level. And then I went back a week later and they marked the clearance down again to $30 a square. So I went to the return department and I said, hey, can I get a refund on the difference, or do I have to return the stuff and rebuy it? And they said, well, if you're just going to return it and rebuy it anyway, we might as well just give it to you. So I ended up getting it for $30 a case, which was great because it saved me like 185 bucks with the additional clearance. So this is the first time I've ever done floor. This is vinyl floor, other than the van, but that doesn't really count. But I watched a couple of YouTube videos on it, and really my only takeaway from the YouTube videos was have your 1/4-inch spacers for vinyl. Start in the left-hand corner and work the longest run, and then use your utility knife to snap them at the end. And so far it's been going okay. I've got a couple of things where if this was my house, I would have redone it, but being as it's the shack, nobody will probably notice it except for me. But it took me probably about 3 runs to really get that system of that bending it in right and clicking it in. So there's definitely a learning curve, but overall it's pretty simple. When this is done, I think it's going to look really nice in here. And a lot of you are probably wondering, why did you do the floor first? You should have done the floor last. Yeah, you're probably right. You know, I'm going to be doing all this other stuff in here, and now I'm going to be doing it on the nice floor. But, you know, the stuff was on clearance. I had to buy it now. I didn't want it sitting around for months. Besides, I'm still trying to decide what I'm going to do in here as far as where my outlets are going to be and what I'm going to do 12 volt versus 110 with generator. And then where I'm going to put like everything. So I kind of wanted to get the floor done, and just because it was one of those projects that I had the equipment, I had the time, and there was no sense putting it off, especially in lieu of I wasn't really sure what I'm going to do next. So I'm doing it. So one thing that I saw last night when I was up here was the Comet came over, and it wasn't like right over the land here, but I went out to the main road and I was able to see it. It was kind of off in the distance, so I didn't have a great view of it, but enough where I could definitely say, hey, yeah, this is the Comet. It was pretty cool, and I think it's supposed to be out for a couple more nights now. I guess I don't know what the name of it is, but definitely pretty cool. As you can see, this goes really fast once you kind of get your system down. I don't know if I should have had a subfloor in here or not, but you know, on YouTube I'd seen people putting this over lots of different kinds of floor, and some of them didn't look great, so I'm taking my chances that this is going to work out. The other thing I learned is I was kind of being gentle when I was tapping these into place, but I found out pretty quickly that you kind of gotta smack it pretty decent to get those grooves to seat. Well, hey everybody, thanks for coming along on this weekend up to the land. So we didn't get everything crossed off the list like we never do, but we made some progress. The biggest thing that changed the place up here was the floor. So I'm not done with the floor. I still have a couple boards to put in, but let's take a look. So this is the finished floor. And as you can see, I have this last row of boards to put on, and then it will be complete. This really is so much easier to keep clean. It's so easy to sweep out. So that was the biggest thing. All right, what do we got going here? So that's an everyday thing. We got the shack put up on blocks. That was a big deal. And we're gonna leave that one on there because we're not quite done. Oh, picnic table is so close, and the floor is so close. And thanks to all of you who watch the videos, and especially those who are regular commenters. So I appreciate all my subscribers, and I appreciate all of you watching. Special thanks to those who are very active members of the channel. I see you, and I appreciate you, and thank you again.